Next upload for today is with regard to the conditions of humanity that are expected and entitled rights for human beings in any circumstance, and particularly in a democracy. First and foremost, I think it's important to mention that since becoming a married mother in 2015, and as I am still a married mother, the conditions of individuals that have imposed and trespassed onto property have caused a poor reflection of the standards at play with regard to the offences I'm experiencing. The issue that I have at the moment and that has been happening is the issue caused by individuals that are intruding upon me incessantly. The issue of culprits in a community that are first and foremost not proprietors or in ownership of the property that they're trespassing on. Neither are they entitled to be damaging the environment of a private citizen of royal lineage. So the issue of culprits of offences against my son since 2016 and 2017 that were of spiritual violence being in my proximity is an outright and blatant act of disregard for protection and proximity laws that I am automatically entitled to. There has been foul play with regard to individuals in my proximity disturbing the peace. These individuals have been of representatives and assistants to the offences that my child and I have experienced. Needlessly, carelessly, these people have overconsumed themselves with energy and effort to damage my private living space. They have damaged my privacy and they have disrespected regulations that the relevant state agencies are fully aware of with regard to the offences that I am entitled to be compensated for. The issue of individuals on my marital property, which it is as of 2015, and as is common knowledge, the violations and illegalities and unlawful actions that are occurring in this community during the season that it is very dangerous, an offence for all involved. As a proprietor, landowner, property owner, farm holder, to be experiencing the deprivation and defamation to accommodate individuals coveting and acquiring from my property and my portfolio, my full entitlements of my portfolio, that individuals are abusing my human rights as a consequence of, due to their acquisition and covetous gains, since being spiritually vile in my hometown, my community, my county, where I live in County Kerry, is a poor sign of the times. It's a very, very poor sign of the times. As a woman that has worked for 3 state departments, and as a law-abiding citizen of royal lineage, and as a woman that the departments relevant to this entire matter are aware of the offences that I've experienced and the obstructions occurring, the issue of deprivation and poverty for a qualified teacher to satisfy the upwardly mobile notions and narcissistic acquisitions of culprits with no shame and no brain for the damages they've caused needlessly in society. Bodily integrity damages have taken many shapes and forms in my experience. The bodily integrity damages I've experienced have not been treated professionally, were not consented to, and are not lawfully standardised actions. It is an assault of the human right to have my bodily integrity respected. And the issue of these culprits working in close proximity, damaging the right to faith, religion and thought processes while damaging a human anatomy and a personal living space isn't just a total lack of respect for humankind, but also a total lack of respect for the law. And as a law-abiding citizen and as a humanitarian and as a recovery advocate, I'm very concerned about the lack of sanity and sobriety in society with these liabilities being facilitated. So the impact statements that the relevant departments have received from me with regard to the bodily damages caused remotely by guilty culprits of treason that have abused and harmed my son also, that was unlawfully separated from me and my best care in 2017, are still issues of relevance for society and for the politicians and practitioners and professionals that uphold and respect their responsibilities, obligations and duties. Those not fulfilling and not protecting and safeguarding women and children's rights, as should have happened in my situation and which did not happen, is a blatant lack of regard for children's futures. And as a sacred royal, the individuals remotely damaging bodily integrity and disrespecting faith and family and trespassing on my farm holdings and intruding upon my personal space and my portfolio of work, I would appreciate the Honourable Government of Ireland acknowledging and addressing and resolving the offences that my son and I have needlessly and unduly suffered as a consequence of poor professionalism and poor practice. So today, on the 14th of April, my privacy and my private space, my personal living space, is being violated. My entitlements to protection and proximity to be respected are also being violated by very, very brazenous means, matters and forms. So the Honourable Government and the United Nations, there is a problem with individuals in a collective that are not respecting human rights. And as a woman of legislative, societal and spiritual developments, and as a law-abiding citizen of royal lineage, and as a humanitarian recovery advocate and as an educator, these offences are unforgivable, inexcusable and intolerable. So those of humanity, I would appreciate you standing up and upholding the respect that all humans are entitled to. There are people in my proximity violating my privacy and my bodily integrity. My son has suffered immeasurably, and there is no lawful care order that is recognised or in place to justify his separation from the best care of his mother. So I would appreciate the United Nations really addressing this immediately. There is unlawful action in place against an innocent mother and child, and there is fraud, forgery, negligence, and other more dangerous abuses against the state and the Constitution and the democracy all at play. So the theft of my wealth, while I'm experiencing deprivation due to those of fraud in my proximity, brazening the theft of my wealth and property and my family and child, I would appreciate the Honourable Government upholding honourability in the democracy in 2021.